Been a few months since Rockstar dropped their first Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, and there's been a lot of new and exciting information released since then, which I think you'd like to know, so you are fully up to date on what's going on with this game. And let's start with the most important info first, the release date. When is GTA 6 actually coming out? Well, we know that Rockstar has stated it is releasing in 2025 from their Trailer 1 end screen, but what month precisely will that be? Well, Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, the company who owns Rockstar Games, if you didn't know, recently said on a Q2 financial call to shareholders that we are positioning the business for a significant inflection point in fiscal 2025, which is a set of very fancy words, which basically means that they're expecting a boatload of cash to come in between the months of April 2024 to the end of March 2025, which is what fiscal year 25 means. On top of that, Take-Two's chief financial officer, Lanny Goldstein, said in a follow-up Q3 financial call that their FY, so financial year 25 pipeline, is going to be groundbreaking. But what is also interesting is that she said that the forecasted number for the net bookings for the 2025 financial year is 7 billion, which is 1 billion less than what they initially projected back in May last year, but it is still a 1.7 billion increase of income to be expected before next March, which means they're still expecting to release something big before that date. She also said they're expecting to see more growth in fiscal year 26, which is after March next year, compared to before March 2025. Now, I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers and dates at you here, but do stick with me because this says to me that they have now potentially moved GTA from being released before March 2025 and into the following financial year, which would be after April next year, because there's only a few games in their portfolio which could generate over $1 billion that quickly. And using GTA as an example, GTA 5 sold 16 million copies and generated 1.15 billion in the first week of its release. So with this in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if they drop GTA at the end of March, a week before the end of the financial year next year in 2025, to get a boost of profits and then have the game launch run into the next financial year. So their spreadsheets look absolutely fantastic for shareholders, and it then goes on to perform well into 2026. In fact, they also initially planned to release Red Dead 1 in the month of May, as well as GTA 5 in spring 2013 before it was actually delayed. So this isn't a unknown release window for them, and I know there's a lot of hopium going around online right now about this game, but if there's one thing that you can take with a less amount of soul, it's big boy companies informing shareholders what their plans are, because if they then bamboozle a lot of suits out of a bag of cash, you can be best sure that that's not going to go down very well at all. So with all of this in mind, pending any delays, I would expect GTA 6 to release early next year, specifically before the end of March. Now, on top of some fat cat chat, Rockstar recently popped out an official job post, which has since been taken down, for a new 12-month term quality assurance tester, which is someone who gets their hands on the game and runs it through its paces before its official release, helping the developers fix any bugs that they find or amend any issues with the game, meaning it's in a better state before launch. Now, as someone who has been very lucky enough to have been invited to play games early by studios and visit those studios outside of the UK, and after chatting to these developers in person, my understanding is that this stage of development is usually what happens towards the end of the game's creation cycle, and with this job contract only being 12 months long, it kind of lends credibility to that March release window in 2025 even further. Now, Bloomberg gaming journalist Jason Schreier recently published an article stating that Rockstar has internally made the decision for its staff to return to the office for 5 days a week to combat the amount of leaks being released into the public domain at the moment, with a lot of staff anonymously talking to the Independent Workers Union of Great Britain, stating that they are concerned about the impact this will have on their work-life balance when they could do all of the work that they're doing in the office, but rather from home. In fact, an alleged Rockstar insider said that this 5-day office work mandate was actually implemented 2 or 3 months ago after the trailer leak, so before New Year, making this March release date even more likely. Now, whilst we're on the topic of leaks, we've recently picked up some new ones, but not directly from Rockstar, and that's the PS5 Pro details, which sound crazy to say, as it doesn't actually feel like the PS5 has been out that long. Maybe that's just me, but this is the actual successor to that PS5, and it will be a significant upgrade from that standard PS5, which will have a very positive impact on GTA if you manage to get your hands on one when it does release, if these leaks are indeed accurate, which I believe they are, as Tom Henderson, industry insider Insider recently stated in an article that these specs were released to third-party developers through the official PlayStation developer portal. So it's pretty much as legit as it kind of gets when it comes to leaks, I would say. But what this means for us gamers is that this PS5 Pro will offer 8K support, 45% faster rendering and loading screens, and 4 times the improvement in ray tracing, which means you can see reflections in car windows and mirrors with more clarity. And this is a big opportunity for not only GTA and by extension Rockstar, but PlayStation, because Xbox's CEO Phil Spencer told Bloomberg last summer that they're pretty much set on the hardware that they have right now, which gives PlayStation a unique selling point for people to be persuaded to kind of buy GTA on their platform specifically, as that will be able to run the game at max settings and crank out its full potential if you decide to invest in a PS5 Pro over, let's say, an Xbox Series X. And this will most likely follow its predecessor in being the most successful video game of all time financially. And PlayStation are probably kind of rubbing their hands together with this kind of opportunity that they have here, as they'll be able to claim that you can play GTA 6 at 4K 60 FPS with it being more optimized according to a former Rockstar developer. Whereas if you pick up an Xbox, you won't have the same experience performance-wise, and that may be enough for some people to be swayed into buying into that PlayStation ecosystem around the holiday season in time for a spring release date. And by the way, if you're finding the video solid so far, please do leave a very quick like down below just to help to support me on YouTube. I genuinely really do appreciate it, so thank you very much. Now, you may have also seen a recent online post flying around about GTA 6 HTML code from the official website, where the pre-order and purchase options were discovered by Brint O Life. Well, as exciting as this may be or may sound, with this potentially indicating that Rockstar were gearing up to add in their pre-order additions and bonuses to the website soon, this doesn't actually seem to be the case, as Logan on X clarified that the code shown here is just the generic code for the game section on Rockstar's website and not specifically for GTA 6, as they have all their other games in their catalog there. But that said, pre-ordering and different game editions will be appearing on this website sometime this year, of course, as Rockstar likes to release these pre-purchasing options 4 months before the game actually launches. In fact, they did this with Red Dead Redemption 2, where they publicly released their pre-order options in June, with the game launching in October. So yeah, 4 months there. And GTA 5 also did the same thing, where the collectors and special editions were available to pre-order in May, with the game releasing in September. So again, another 4-month period there. So from a business point of view, they clearly feel that this 4-month window is the appropriate time to build hype for the game, locking in as many pre-order sales as possible. So I think it's realistic to expect these pre-order editions to go live around that holiday period at the end of the year, perhaps November or December, to of course take advantage of the spending power that people have at this time of year, and also run a strong, I imagine, very expensive marketing campaign alongside the PS5 Pro, so both companies can let loose and pull in a full bag of cash. And speaking of letting loose, you want to let your PC do the same thing when it comes to your own PC games by getting your hands on AMD's new Ryzen 8000G series, which has the fastest built-in graphics in its CPU class, which means you can play your brand new AAA games at a solid 1080p without the actual need of spending hundreds or even thousands of dollars at this day and age on a graphics card, which is actually quite outstanding, especially if you don't want to commit to a GPU just yet and you want to wait for those prices to come down even further. In fact, I bought my own AMD CPU independently over a year ago, before AMD actually reached out to me on YouTube, which I used to play all my games in max settings as well as create content on YouTube, where I think I've used it to make over 100 videos now, and I can honestly say that it is fantastic, especially this 8000G series upgrade, as I've taken advantage of this new AI technology built into the CPU, which analyzes my voice when I'm recording in OBS and in Premiere Pro, and it improves the noise cancellation from background noise all around my room here, because this Dyson heater is crazy loud. It's so annoying when I'm recording, and this has genuinely improved it, and it does a really good top job. And great news, because you can grab an AMD 8000G AI series CPU right now on their website, and they're also running high velocity sales for their Ryzen 7000 series, which is still the fastest gaming CPU on the market right now, as well as their 5000 series coming in at a more affordable price point without compromising too much on performance. So check out the deals that AMD are running via the link, which I will pop in the pinned comments down below, video. And cheers to AMD for sponsoring the video and continuing to support me on YouTube. Now, a couple months ago, Take-Two officially patented a new locomotion system inside video games, which is very interesting indeed, with the info being discovered by Tobloban30 on Reddit, where he found the name of the developer, that being Tobias, cleaned house when combing through the GTA game file leaks from 2022, who has worked on previous Rockstar games before. Now, all of this information, of course, is in the public domain, which then led him to find this patent that had been registered by Tobias, which focuses on characters' movement animations that can vary on the in-game weather systems, whilst that character is then carrying something on their backs or in their hands, or being injured in game, or alternatively actually being exhausted after running too far for too long. But the impressive part about all of this is that all of these reactive animations can happen simultaneously, which also includes death animations or specific injuries that are attributed to certain parts of the body. Now, this sounds exciting for us to experience in GTA from a immersive standpoint, but also kind of sucks that it's been patented, as it means that we potentially have a nemesis system situation on our hands here, where the devs who created the Shadow of Mordor games locked that system with a patent where no other studio can use that same technology to then improve the games, which we, the consumer, would have benefited from. But perhaps that's a topic for another time, because a senior Rockstar artist, Halen Z, who previously worked at Naughty Dog, stated on GTA forums, which has since been removed by the way, that GTA 6 will be far better than The Last of Us Part 2, with this game being the most advanced project that he has worked on in his 10 years of game development. He also said that the team is confident that they will deliver 60 FPS with all in-game assets complete and built, but the Xbox Series X apparently is causing a big challenge for the team development-wise, which I imagine is why the game is likely not going to release for another 12 months, because as Take-Two CEO stated recently in that same investor call, that they are seeking perfection, and when they've optimized it creatively, that will be the time to then release the game, which sounds good to me, as we don't want another cyberpunk situation on our hands here. Now, on January 29th, Rockstar updated their official terms and conditions on their main website when we use their services, which isn't inherently kind of groundbreaking news. Companies do this all the time, of course, but what is interesting is this new edition here at 8.2, which is titled as Auto-Generated Players, where Rockstar has stated that they may offer us the opportunity to play with auto-generated computer-controlled players that look and play like real people, which basically means it's going to be a very well-made bot to either play alongside us or against us in-game. And my first thought here goes towards heists, which are almost impossible to do these days unless you've got a solid friendship circle who knows what they're doing. And I wouldn't at all be surprised if this technology is really leveraged and used a lot in GTA 6, as if four-man heists are then prolific in this upcoming game, it's going to be an absolute nightmare getting a coherent group together. So expect some decent bots or AI going forward, and perhaps even added to GTA 5 Online as a kind of test run before March next year. Now, this is all pretty interesting, of course, but what about this trailer too? When are we going to see that bad boy drop so we can return to the Hopium hype train? Well, perhaps we're already on it right now, because Rockstar have been making some stealthy moves behind the scenes recently, as they've changed their website, placing the trailer 1 video into an official video category, which is essentially a visual playlist of sorts with kind of scrollable arrows, as you can see here, added into the website, with the intention being more videos will be arriving soon, so you can kind of flick back and forth. In fact, I actually do believe it will be arriving sooner rather than later, and the reason for that isn't just wishful thinking or a website upgrade with interactable arrows, and that's because Lanny Goldstein, the chief financial officer, stated in Take-Two's most recent financial call that they will be providing their initial outlook for their fiscal 25-year report, which will be published in May. Now, using Red Dead 2 as an example here, Take-Two got Rockstar to announce the game one day before their financial call with shareholders to then build hype, and that happened back on May 22nd in 2017, which then put them in a very strong and favorable position when discussing their future pipeline. Now, with the game coming into its last phase of development, where we've got around 12 months or so to go until a release date, and potentially one more trailer to then release around the holiday period at the end of the year to kind of push for those pre-orders, it does make sense to drop trailer 2 after Q4 has finished for the company and just before their shareholder call, which will likely be at the end of May, for Take-Two to put themselves in a ridiculously positive position to investors. In fact, as this game is suspected to be based on Jason and Lucia as the modern day counterparts of the infamous Bonnie and Clyde criminal duo, I would not at all be surprised if Rockstar released the trailer on May the 24th, which is when Bonnie and Clyde died in a police shootout, and that would be a very kind of Rockstar thing to do, and I would be totally here for it. Now, I'm currently in the process of whipping up more GTA videos for you right now, where one of them actually may already be out, or actually might be on my face or on your screen, so give that a click, and I'll hopefully see you there in just a second with more interesting info to go through together. And if it's not uploaded yet, make sure you do subscribe, as I will be covering this game over the next several years, I think. I can't wait for it. I've been waiting for so long, and it would be great to have you along for the ride. Thanks to Nika for helping me make this video. Coffee is on her, and hopefully I'll catch you in that next video in just a second.